What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD10 back in here on PlayStation Source, of course, on YouTube's biggest, I think the biggest, and maybe if not the only Last of Us podcast. That being, of course, Road to Part 2, the weekly podcast series where we take you topic by topic, step by step, until The Last of Us Part 2 comes out. So with me, of course, is my co-host, the luxurious, the Arc Knight.
Hello.
How are you, good sir? Doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Time is going by more slowly as we get closer and closer to May.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see also that, do you change your Discord Avi every week? Is that
I honestly just change it whenever I find something cool.
interesting?
Like, I was just rereading like Daredevil, like the 2018 run of Daredevil
Right.
with Chip Zdarsky,
Right.
and this was some of the art in issue number 2, and I was like, hey, this is fire. So I
mean,
just changed it as my hobby.
It is fire. I do like it a ton. And those listening to us, you can look at this Avi on our Discord. Link in the description. Shameless plug. You know, we're over here talking about Kumbaya, talking about stuff. You been playing anything recently? Anything?
Just the same old. Like, I'm still just like I got into Rocket League about a week ago or so.
Nice.
I've been playing some of that. I got into ranked, like playing competitive, but I'm only in gold 2.
Okay, King. Okay.
We working on it. We grinding.
Out there. Okay.
Mhm.
Shout out to Rocket League.
And just Doom. Still Doom.
Still Doom. Yo, Doom is dangerously close. We have like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, 15 days.
Wow. Oh my God, we're so close. Oof. I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for
very excited.
that. And of course, the GOATY, Animal Crossing, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Of
course, Animal Crossing. But shout out to Doom Eternal as well. Me, I'm just okay. I've been playing a few things. I started Uncharted 3.
I noticed
That game looks a lot better than I thought it did back in the day. Now, obviously, Uncharted 3 in the Nathan Drake collection is up-res, not just up-res, but like it's remastered, you know, by Bluepoint. But, you know, going from Uncharted 1 and playing from Uncharted 2, Uncharted 2 does look better than Uncharted 1, but I'd say like they're pretty similar in terms of looks. But Uncharted 3 looks markedly a lot better, you know.
Yeah. It's because it's like a 2-year gap between games.
Yeah, but man, like that was a big step up, and it looks great. Still enjoying that. Streaming that on the channel as well. I did dip my toes into Vanquish. Have you ever played Vanquish before?
I have not.
Okay, so it's a platinum game. It's actually my first platinum game as far as I'm aware.
Oof.
As far as I'm aware, it's my first platinum game as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong on that, but I'm literally only like half an hour in. Like, I didn't get a ton of time into it. I just got into it in between. You know, I had to do an edit, but I had to leave, so I just like quickly just wanted to play a little Vanquish, and it's cool. It's interesting. It's very campy. It's very like you know, not, I guess tongue-in-cheek you can put it at, but I'd say it like screams campy. So overall, like, you know, interested in it. Don't know if I'll say like I'm liking it so far. I'm only half an hour in, so I will report back with my thoughts on that.
Like, you haven't played Bayonetta, you haven't played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance,
Nope.
You haven't played like any of that?
Nope.
Like, bro, like Bayonetta and Revengeance are like, and I can't forget about Nier. Like, they're all like star tier like games.
I do plan on playing through Bayonetta on the Switch actually this year.
Yeah, it is good. It is a good port. I have that.
Okay, yeah. So I might wait. Do you have it digitally or physically?
I have a digital.
Okay. Or did it only just come out digital? I think it's only digital, but
yeah, no, I'm not totally sure, but I have it on digital.
yeah. So I do plan on playing through Bayonetta on the Switch, but I'm just gonna right now I'm still playing through Pokemon. And then of course when Animal Crossing, that's gonna take up a lot of time. And maybe after Animal Crossing, we might finally get that Bayonetta 1 and 2 in preparation for Bayonetta 3. And I'm choosing the Switch version because I think Bayonetta 3 is gonna be exclusive to Switch, I believe? Question mark? I think.
Yeah. I think it's like what happened with Bayonetta 2 because Nintendo picked up for like the
publishing, I think.
Publishing,
like, is that what this? Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thank you. Like, they published it after Sega kind of like dropped it, so Yeah, I think that's why it was a Wii U exclusive for Bayo 2, and now Bayo 3 is going to be a Switch exclusive.
Right. So I've been so that would definitely be played this year, just not on PlayStation, on my Switch. And I did get into, I think you've played this as well. Pretty sure we will have played it. Pretty sure everyone played this week. That is indeed the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. Did you get your hands on it? Did you?
I did.
Okay, how did you like it? Because
like
Yeah, go ahead.
just full disclaimer. Oh, my apologies. A full disclaimer: I've never once played a Final Fantasy game.
Okay,
I
same.
honestly thought-
Okay, same.
Yeah. I always thought they were a little like campy for me, like a little too much. Like, I mean this with no malintent, or like I'm like, there are some games that are just like, and like even like shows like anime that are just a little too Japanese.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it's quote unquote too Japanese. I would say just quote unquote, it's just very anime, you know?
Yeah.
And like before I got into My Hero Academia, which I got into in December, I would have been in the same boat as you. Like, oh, like, you know, like it just seems very anime, like not really, you know, my particular thing. But now it's definitely my thing. Now I'm like, oof. And now I'm like warming up to it. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't call it like a Japanese thing. I'd call it more anime. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, like the OG Final Fantasies, like 13 and stuff like that, and 14, and like games like Dragon Quest, like those games are a little too anime for me.
Right.
But
right.
it seems like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say streamlined because that has a negative connotation. However, it does feel like there's a lot more Western influence in the remake of 7
Right.
that I appreciated. Like, so I don't know. I don't feel like that's a bad thing, but I also don't have a place to stand on when it comes to how like passionate I am regarding Final Fantasy. So I can't really say whether that's a good or bad thing.
Right. I mean I guess I'll say it, you know, here. I'm pretty sure Road to Final Fantasy VII Remake is starting this week.
Ooh.
So keep your sub boxes hot for that. But I appreciated this like I felt like the combat system was super unique in the way of like it still retained its like turn-based style in terms of like when you fill your, I think, APB gauge, you get access to your combat menu or your command menu, I think it's called, where you can do like special abilities and stuff like that or spells, while also retaining a live combat system where you can just press square anytime and, you know, fill up that gauge by doing live combat, and then when you get that gauge filled, you can go and do a turn-based type of style thing. I think it's really, really neat how they did that. You know, like I think there's like a lot of cool stuff in this demo. It really wowed me. You know, I'm instantly like, okay, I want to know what's going on with this world, with these characters. You know what I'm saying? Like Cloud seems dope, so I'm excited. I'm definitely excited, and it's only like a month away, so
yeah,
I'm excited.
It feels very Kingdom Hearts. I think people have been talking about like the combat feels reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts, which I'm also not a fan of. Like I don't know. It just like, I hope like Final Fantasy VII, like something I appreciate is that it's coming out in episodes, so I can buy episode 1, and if I don't enjoy it, then that's it. Like that's just the end of it for me. But
Oh man, I see.
it's better than like, I don't know, like buying a full $60 game. I was like, okay, like now what? But I guess you could do that on Steam, like refund it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like, personally, in my taste, like are very Western, for lack of a better phrase.
No, right, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like we both come to this at a similar angle of like, you know, like this is. I mean, I don't know the changes in the remake. We can officially still call it a JRPG, but this is gonna be, you know, my first JRPG I'm playing through. You know what I'm saying? Like I've played JRPGs, but never like committed to playing through one. You know?
Yeah.
And this one, you know, does help that ease in with a little bit of Western RPG influence in it as well. So I'm hyped.
I'm also very excited for it. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to pick it up on day one. Like I'm gonna see how I like it, and depending on how episode 1 grabs me, then I'm gonna pick up the rest. Like it's kind of like a Telltale thing, except with Telltale, I just automatically bought the season pass right off the bat
Yeah.
because I had faith, which wasn't always well placed, but there was faith in like kind of like story based games like that. So I, depending on just what I read and what happens and what's road to, like I'll see from like what's discussed and all that, and maybe I'll just buy the full season or whatever, however they call it.
I see. Well, you said that you were excited for Final Fantasy VII to be releasing in a series format, in like a episodic format, if you will, kind of part one, part two type deal. Well, a similar thing is happening here that broke news this morning as of this recording. The Last of Us is officially getting a series with in tandem, with I can't. Wow, that I flobbed that title completely. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay. Let's go. The Last of Us is officially getting a series in collaboration with PlayStation Productions as well as HBO, co-written by, of course, game director Neil Druckmann, as well as being created by Craig Mazin, I believe I say his name. He is from a show called Chernobyl on HBO, which I know a lot of people enjoyed that show. A lot of people love Chernobyl. But the team around Chernobyl is going to do a Last of Us series. And I have some quotes here I want to read about this little series, and maybe we can talk about it here and there and stuff like that. So let me see where I want to start here. You know what? I'm just going to go from the beginning, and we'll just see how far it goes. In a rare development in the world of video game adaptations, the writer and creative director of the game, Neil Druckmann, is also involved and will work with Mazin to pen and executive produce what is intended to be a series. Caroline Strauss will also executive produce along with Evan Wells, the president of Naughty Dog, the Santa Monica-based developer of the game. The project is a co-production with Sony Pictures Sony Pictures Television in association with PlayStation Productions. It will be the first television series from PlayStation Productions. Not sure if you're aware of PlayStation Productions, and for talking's sake, I am going to use the acronym PSP. And no, when I say PSP, I'm not talking about the game console. I'm talking about PlayStation Productions, right? So RIP for real. So PSP was established, I think, around a year ago. And there were rumors that their first project was going to be a Ratchet and Clank series, but now it looks like it's going to be this Last of Us series, which I think is an interesting. It's a interesting first take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's obviously a very strong IP to work off of first, but. Just, off of just, well, let me read a little bit more here. So, again, they talk about how the game launched in 2013, obviously, and this whole series will actually be sort of a retelling of the events of Last of Us, and it could contain. So here's what they say here. They say the HBO series will cover the events of the original game, which was written by Druckmann, with the possibility of additional content based on the forthcoming game sequel, The Last of Us Part 2, which will release on May 29th, 2020. So Mazin here has like a few quotes about working on this. They say, quote, Neil Druckmann is without question the finest storyteller working in the video game medium, and The Last of Us is his magnum opus. Getting a chance to adapt his breathtaking work of art has been a true dream of mine for years, and I'm so honored to do it in partnership with Neil. So there's a lot going behind this, seemingly, right? And so they do say, kind of like in like the wrap-up quotes, they just talk about how excited they are of doing this, and then they wrap up a little bit with saying that this is the first of many shows we intend to develop with our friends at PlayStation Productions. So, and that was the co-president of Sony Pictures talking, not HBO. So, yeah, I mean, it's official. It's getting a series. Who knows how long it's going to be? I mean, I believe the latest big HBO series was Watchmen, and that was like 10 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll. Yeah. So maybe we'll get something like that. But I guess like knee-jerk reaction. What was your impressions when you read this on Twitter or wherever you saw it?
I don't know how to feel, honestly. Like a series on paper sounds very interesting for people that didn't have the opportunity to play or watch the game, but it's been about 7 years, so I'm not sure how I feel about like a show being just a retelling, because something that immediately comes to mind on a retelling that kind of expands on it is Spider-Man,
Mm.
because there was a tie-in comic that was like sort of a retelling that expanded on the events of the game called City at War, and I read through all that and I thought it was fine, but it didn't feel very necessary.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure, like, because there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like we talked about last week on how there's a lot of community surrounding The Last of Us.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure, and it's like if you change too many things, people get upset. If you keep everything the same, then what's the point? It's a very difficult balance for them to like keep the same like spirit of the original game while adding in like concepts and expansions that make the show worth investing in and worth watching and worth making.
Right.
So
I mean, I kind of have a similar tone to you in terms of like, honestly, when I heard the concept of, okay, like they're gonna have a Last of Us series, I was like, okay, that sounds great. And I know before people comment, right, I know I have been the front runner of the cancel the Uncharted movie train, right? I don't want the Uncharted movie, and just I will say this up front as well, as I've said before in the past, yes, I am still going day one and still gonna watch it at midnight and still gonna do the whole thing for said Uncharted movie. But if you're asking me if I would rather have it not exist or exist, I would rather it not exist. But nonetheless, if it's going to exist, I'm still gonna go see it. All right.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, right. But here's the big difference between that and versus this, right? Is that, and I do plan on doing like a full video probably about this topic and like how, you know, how I see these two things as different things. But like my like, you know, TLDR like thesis statement is that you can do a lot more with a series and make it feel a lot more like having a game experience as opposed to a 2-hour movie on average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can do a lot more when you have, you know, 10 hours, you know, let's say an hour an episode or 45 minutes an episode, whatever. You have a lot more time there to get invested in these characters and have good storytelling as opposed to a movie that, while yes, of course, there are great movies out there that have great storytelling, etc., but you have a limited time right there, you know, and games already being a longer facet that require a lot more hours out of a person to experience, you know, transitioning that into a series is, I feel, the best way to go about it as opposed to a movie, right? Of course, there are you know, aspects where that doesn't always fit. Of course, we've had, you know, really, I won't say great, but pretty good video game movies. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people like Sonic. We talked about it last week, right? You enjoyed Sonic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed Sonic.
Yeah. So like definitely like it's not like it can never work, but I feel like it would be a better transition if it was to a series, right? So that's why I was very like, okay, I like this concept of having Last of Us series, but I was a little bit like on the prospect of it retelling the first game. And then they, you know, just like casually kind of mentioned that there's a possibility that they could add, you know, content based off of the sequel, right? As if it's like, oh, you know, if we can sprinkle that, sure, but it's going to be dedicated to just retelling the events of the original game, which, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, you know, the same tone is I'm still going to, of course, watch this. And I'm sure you're going to watch as well. Everyone's going to watch this, right? But right. I kind of wish it was focused on something else to kind of blow up the world of Last of Us, right? Like, I mean, I would have loved if it okay, you know what, actually scratch that. I would have loved if this series was like coming out like now, right? And it was a bridge between, you know, the first Last of Us game and Last of Us Part 2. That I would have been like, oh, I'm so in. You know what I'm saying? But or even I would take a prequel to Last of Us. I even think that would be really, really neat as well, you know? Like
there's a lot of like stories to tell between Joel and Tess. Like, it doesn't always have to be about Ellie, even though she's the crowd favorite in the face of The Last of Us. Like, it's hard to see because I like whenever we talk about wanting Last of Us to be you know, or to tell something that is outside of Joel and Ellie, I always think about Neil Druckmann's quote about how, hey,
The Last of Us at its core, no matter what, is a story about Joel and Ellie, and that's period. You know,
Yeah.
like that's it, right? So, with of course Druckmann being a part of this, I feel like he will still want to keep that mantra and so keep that sentiment, obviously, because Last of Us is his baby. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like as much as I would love to see this series, like you said, focus around Joel and Tess, I feel like if Druckmann's behind it, that won't be the focus. It maybe be an aspect of it, and if maybe what he meant by Joel and Ellie, one could interpret that as it being like, Joel and Ellie not as a combined two, but two people. Like it's focused on these two people, not them necessarily as a group, but I'm pretty sure he meant like as a duo. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, we also had Left Behind that didn't have Joel in it at all. Like there was
my
no
God.
mention of Joel. There was nothing like that. It was a story about Ellie and how she got to Joel.
That's a very, very valiant point, sir. I have been corrected officially. My boy.
It's like it doesn't have to like. And there was this early part in Winter where it was about Joel. There was like Ellie was doing this for Joel, but it still didn't have Joel as center stage. Like you don't need it, you can explain through exposition or like little references, because I'm sure Marlene will be there if it's a prequel.
Right.
It's you don't always have to show, hey, there's Ellie. You have to name drop them. It's like a little reference to show, hey, this is still in the same world. These are the same characters that and they will meet and all that, and everything will happen. But it's just world building and expanding to reach the point of Joel and Ellie. It's not like you're abandoning one of the characters to tell the story of the other.
Right. That's very, and also there was a series of comics, Last of Us: American Dreams, that was focused on Ellie as well. Yeah, and Joel wasn't in it, so. Which I still gotta figure out how I want to cover those comics. I don't know if I should cover it here in the podcast or cover it separately. That's something to think about, because I have the comics actually.
I also have the comics.
I have one for Infamous, for God of War, for Spider-Man, City at War, like what you said as well. So think about doing some coverage of that as well, just as a side note. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm excited for the series. I think HBO is a great partner in this. I was kind of worried that it was going to be on HBO, because I'm like, wait, like how are you going to have a PlayStation Productions that you just started last year and have the Last of Us series not be on it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that it's going to be on HBO. I guess that's a good question too. Do you think this will be broadcasted on HBO, like HBO Now and stuff like that, and HBO Go and stuff like that? Oh wait, no, HBO Max, is that what's called, the streaming service?
Yeah.
Do you think this will? Yeah, I guess because I mean, I thought they would do something similar to I don't know if you recall this show that was exclusive to the PlayStation Store. Oh my God,
the Tester.
I think that was one of them. I'm thinking of one that it was like superpowers. Oh my God, what am I thinking?
Something like that, yeah.
But
I just remember the Tester because Ego Raptor was on it a long time ago.
Definitely, Tester was one of those. But like they have done those in the past, like those specific pieces of content or shows or series that are only on PlayStation Store. And that, is, I guess, kind of analogous, like a streaming service. I just figured that they would do that, but I guess it would make sense to just be on HBO.
Well, yeah, like, and there needs to be an incentive for HBO to like back it and support it. So maybe both, but there's also like, as much as we love this isn't a bad thing if done in the right way, but like we always forget that these are companies, and companies are for profit.
Right.
So if you show, like, if you put your heart and soul into a quality product, you want as many people to see, because you might have people that don't even play video games say, hey, what's this show? It's about zombies or whatever, and they watch it and it's like, oh yeah, this is super cool, this is a video game, and they look into it. Because like as a personal experience, like when PlayStation like got hacked in 2011 and nobody could use like the online services for a few weeks while they got it fixed, and we got a few free games. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Like,
we got
Like Infamous.
We got Infamous. We got the Wipeout collection.
Yeah.
We got some other stuff too. But yeah.
So
cool. Yeah,
so like if that like I thought it would be you can choose whatever game you want in the store for free, and I was like, yeah, I'll just get Street Fighter or something because I was 11 years old and liked fighting games. But when I saw that it was like a restricted amount of games and you get to choose one, it's like, okay, I'll go with Infamous. Electric Superpowers sound cool. And now it's one of my favorite games. Like, I would never have even heard of Infamous if it weren't for that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that was right before Infamous 2 came out. So they have this show and they advertise it right before the sequel of Last of Us for part 2. You get a lot of people that wouldn't have originally heard of The Last of Us invested in it. But if you put it on only PlayStation, only in the PlayStation Store, everybody already knows about The Last of Us and has already decided that they don't like it or decided that they're going to get it.
Right.
There's not a lot of room for expansion.
It is going to be interesting to see, like, because my mom, right, Mama Diaz, shout out to Mama Diaz, right, she tends to watch a lot of HBO series. It's going to be really interesting if she hits me up one day and it's like, hey, I saw this ad for, The Last of Us, and it's being developed, like PlayStation Productions. Like, do you know anything about it? I can't wait for that. I'm really curious to see, like, from an outsider's point of view, who's never played the game, to see what they think about Last of Us, And I think, of course, I think the biggest like pro about this whole thing is that it's still being co-written by Druckmann, right? And I feel like Druckmann definitely seems like one of the types that like, all right, look, like Last of Us is my baby, right? So anything that's involving Last of Us, if I don't at least, have any part of it, I don't want it to exist. Like, and I hope that continues in a way. Like, I hope that, it stays Druckmann's baby, because I feel like he obviously has a good tone of, having character relationships and stuff like that. And we have talked about that as well on the podcast, but it's great to see that it's seemingly being developed in the right, like it has all of the right pieces at play for it to be successful,
Right. All the pieces are coming together for the
100%. Like being a series, it being in association, with Sony Pictures, PlayStation Productions, and of course on HBO, a great company that does a lot of good things in terms of cinema. We have Druckmann as well involved in this, of course, the game director and the creator of Last of Us as a whole. So it seems like everything seems to be okay with this, as opposed to the Spider-Man movie, which I don't even want to talk about because that one pisses me off. Wait, no.
Oh, the Uncharted movie.
Sorry, damn. Shout out Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Spider-Man. Damn. Spider-Man. You're my boy, bro. I can't believe I just did something like that. That's crazy.
I'm not gonna talk about my opinions on MCU Spider-Man on here because those are some hot takes. But
I know we have talked about that. Yeah, we have. Which I mean, we won't get into it, but I feel like your points are pretty valid, and I think like. I can't believe we're about to talk about this just for a little bit. I promise. Just for a little bit.
Yeah.
I do agree with something that you said, that why in the MCU, well, I know why, but like, I don't think it's right in a way to have MCU Peter be so like almost, why did Tony Stark take the role of Uncle Ben in Peter's life? That to me like has never meshed, It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, Peter uses Uncle Ben's suitcase. That's great. But I feel like they're like one of Peter's, if not the biggest influence of like his character is Uncle Ben.
Absolutely. He would never have been a hero if it weren't for Uncle Ben.
And that's just completely not at all. Now, granted, in the MCU, I mean, he was Spider-Man for what, like, I think 8 months?
6 months about? Yeah.
6 months? Yeah. So maybe like the true motivation for him, having his morals is tied all the way to Uncle Ben. It's just not really expressed that well. And it seems like it's very much just like Tony Stark, but I digress. That's for another episode of Road to whatever.
Yeah.
But before
Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, right.
I wish.
Oh man. Shout out to Spider-Man. But of course, tying it back to Road to Part 2. The original plan for this episode was going to be the bets episode, which it seems like we still have enough time to do. So we'll just roll into that part of the Road to Part 2 episode here on episode 27. And this is going to be the bet section. So I did a similar episode with the former co-host of this Road to Part 2, that being, of course, Starks. And I pretty much, I think, got the same exact questions. I actually took off a few of them because there were some that was like, hey, what is the release date if it gets a delay? That's obviously not going to have a delay anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like negated. So I took all of the different questions that we could, and we're gonna give our predictions on these, right? So we have 10 over here on the board. I will read them. I'll allow you to go first, and I'll say my piece, you know, and give my bet after. But I'll let you do the honors of going first as well. So first up here, the Metacritic score. Now, do we want to add any stipulations to this? Like, do we want to say a week after the game launches? Because I feel like pretty much all of the reviews are going to be in before the game even launches. But
yeah, like just reviewer copies. Like, are we going just straight reviewer scores, or are we going just like reviewer and like audience scores?
I want audience too. So I'll say, look. So let me pull up my calendar. Right, I'm gonna pull up. What is a week after the game launches? What day is that? 29th. So June 5th. So I'm going to add a little asterisk to this question, right? I'm going to say Metacritic score as of June 5th. So that is a week after release. That will be enough time, I believe, to have audience scores fall in, or the you know, some portion of the audience score, right?
Yeah, like yeah.
So off of,
we did talk about this a little bit last week.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, just like a quick
no,
thing.
we did, huh? Well, hopefully we answer the same ways. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Huh.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns.
All right.
Personally, I do think it'll be like at least a 95.
95. Okay, so
Yes.
you're barking. Excuse me. You're ballparking the same Metacritic score as the original Last of Us. Okay.
Yeah.
I think last week I said it's gonna be, because of how big The Last of Us was and how important it was. I don't know if it can attain that type of level. I would love it. Obviously, we all want it to, but I just have a feeling that it's gonna be like a 92. So I'm gonna say 92 for my score, just slightly below 95, and we will check back on those, whatever episode number that's gonna be. It will be the episode on June 5th. So that will probably be like our first impressions of the game, how we thought about Last of Us, whatever, right?
Right.
Moving on to question number 2 of the bets. Oh, also, before I even continue, if you all want to follow along with us and leave your answers down below in the comment section, please do. I'm very interested to see what you all think about it as well. Put them all down below. Get with a friend, you know, do this bets episode as well with them, and we'll all be taking bets. You know what I'm saying? Bet. Do we have any? You know what? Is there anything on the line here? Is there a winner or a loser for these? Like, do we want to put something out on the table, perhaps? You know what I'm saying?
I'm good to bet like whatever. I just can't think of anything to put on the table.
I mean,
but I am down to put something on the table. Like, I'm not afraid.
If we want to be ballsy, right? I'm down to put a game on the line.
Oh, like what? Like what do you like?
Any $60 game.
Oh,
You know, I mean, hey, if that's too harsh, then all right, I will fall back. But I'm kind of down to bet a game. You know.
You think my boy? You think I'm afraid? I'm willing to drop $60.
Okay, the bet. This is
bet.
Okay. Let me add this at the top. Winner. No, sorry. Loser has to buy a game. Wait, I can't type. Loser has to buy a game for winner. I'll add an extra stipulation, like if it can be $60 or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be like whatever game like comes to mind, but
yeah,
no more than like a AAA new release.
Right, has to buy a game for winner. Game is the winner's choice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But cannot increase by $60. Game is the winner's choice, but cannot go above $60.
Right.
There you go.
All right.
Beautiful.
Looks like I'm not gonna be buying Cyberpunk.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm already buying my friend Cyberpunk, so here we go. I'm about to buy Cyberpunk like 3 times this fall. All right, bet number 2. Does Ellie ever find out what Joel did at the end of The Last of Us? So I guess I will say the spoiler for 10 seconds, and then y'all can unmute. All right. So we are, of course, referring to Joel slaughtering everyone in the hospital in order to save Ellie, and then Joel lying about it when Ellie asks what happened in the hospital. And Joel just says, hey, they had other people that were also immune, so they didn't need you. They had more than enough resources. Ellie didn't buy it. Joel says, I swear. That's where it's at. So Joel lied to Ellie about the ending of Last of Us 1. Orly, do you think Ellie will ever find out?
Absolutely. Like, you can't, like, Ellie, like, she's young, she can be a little naive, but she's not stupid.
Right.
She knew as soon as he said it. Like, I'm willing to like even go more specific into detail. Like, even you said it when you were explaining the question. It's like she immediately knew that he was lying, but I don't think either of them cared.
You see, I was trying to do some wordplay here, because in the question I specifically asked, does Ellie ever find out what Joel did and the last?
Oh, specifically.
So I was gonna say,
yeah.
She already knows.
Like, because. Yeah, no, she'll know what he did. Like, maybe not like, oh, he gunned down every doctor in your operating room, but oh yeah, he killed the fireflies. I'm sure it'll come.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a simple yes. I feel like it won't come out on a very like predictable way. I feel like it'll come out in a more interesting way that we will see,
Yeah.
In the game. You know what I'm saying? So next one here, question number 3: does Bill show up? Not just a mention, not just like my friend Bill, like does Bill in the flesh show up at all in Last of Us Part 2?
You know what would, like, I'm going to say a yes, because you can't introduce a character like Bill and just like throw him in as like just a reference, because he didn't have a huge role in Part 1. He was there for the beginning of like I forgot where they were.
I think it was Boston,
something like that.
Yeah,
like he was there to get them a car so they could move into the city, like the big city,
right?
And then that was it. But I do believe that he, like, what I would like, I don't know, like, since there is a time jump, if you are going to, like, I don't know, Bill was kind of like, forgive my language, but he was just kind of like a piece of shit the whole time. So
got some fighting words in this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I kind of want him to like have some sort of like redemption towards Ellie, because he was awful to her in Part 1. Like, just like the whole way through, to the extent of my memory, which could change, like, considering that we are going to be replaying The Last of Us. If so, it's like, hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I do recall that he was just awful to her for the majority of them knowing each other during that segment of the game. So I would like to see some redemption.
Okay.
Because he begrudgingly helped them. Like, Joel had to say, hey, I did this for you, now you have to do this for me, to get him to even bother.
Yeah. So you say yes.
Yes.
I say no.
Ooh.
I just feel like the max we'll get of Bill is just a mention. That's why I said, like, it's not like does Bill show up in the flesh,
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say
I want it.
I mean, I definitely want it. I just don't know if we actually will. But that is that. I don't have anything else like affluent to say about that. Just like, I just don't think he'll show up. I don't know. I would like him to, but I just don't know if he will. Does The Last of Us 2 have a prologue? Of course, The Last of Us 1 had a very famous prologue. We had Joel in his younger years, 20 years prior, with his daughter Sarah. The whole outbreak happens, and all that good stuff. Is there a
Yeah.
similar prologue for Last of Us Part 2?
I feel like most Naughty Dog games have a prologue. Like
Uncharted really, Uncharted.
Uncharted,
Yeah.
yeah, Uncharted 2, you broke into the museum with Flynn. Uncharted 1 didn't necessarily have a prologue.
Yeah, Uncharted
Uncharted
1 kind
3
of didn't.
Uncharted 3 had in the beginning of Columbia when you meet Sully after you get shot by Marlowe in the beginning of the game.
True, true, true.
Uncharted 4 had the prison escape.
You have a lot of good points here.
So
You have a lot of good
I'm
points.
willing to bet that there will be a prologue.
Okay, so you're on yes.
Yes.
I kind of want to answer yes to this too, but I feel like The Last of Us Part 2, I think they want to completely just flip the script, right? And just do
Right.
something like really, really out there, you know? This one's kind of tough. This one's tough. Huh.
Well, if you just go for like if you just look at a technical level overhaul, like Uncharted 4, like the jump between 3 to 4 was massive.
Very, very, very massive. Yeah.
So it's like they're moving on a technical level, like, but how to write a good story doesn't change with technology. That's just based on the passion of the story writer. So if they can figure out a decent way to write in a prologue, which they've shown that they can, I feel like they definitely could and that they should, to show like, hey, because there might be tension between Joel and Ellie, because father daughters are always kind of like going at it. So there's a prologue. She finds out what he did in detail. They don't talk. Enter Joel, and that's why she's alone for the first bit. Enter Joel. You really think I'm going to do this? Let you do this alone, and then bam, so they're together. I want to say yes. I'm willing to bet on yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll say yes. Part of me wants to be bold and say no, but no, like that one's pretty clear. Yeah, that one's pretty cut and dry. This one, and these next two actually, not so much. Does Ellie die in The Last of Us Part 2?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of like how spoilers for Walking Dead season 4, the game. Quick spoiler window, like
spoiler for specifically the not Last of Us. Idiot, Kevin, come on, man.
Yeah, Walking Dead season 4.
Season 4 of the Telltale series, right? Not like the not like the show, but the series.
Yeah.
On Telltale.
Yeah,
okay,
the game.
Okay. Spoilers are beginning now.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they could do a fake out like they did there, where it's like, oh, Clementine got bit, and then they play the music like what happened to Lee. They did everything, same thing. Like it's the same thing that happened to Lee except happening to Clem, and then they cut out as like, oh, she's fine. Like she's an amputee, but she's fine.
Yeah.
Like she's alive. So I could see that, but I don't see how they could kill Ellie because she's the flagship character. As much as I love Joel more than Ellie, like not by much, like, but it's if I had to pick one, I do enjoy Joel. But they can't, like, Ellie's the flagship. Like I am fully comfortable saying that Ellie's the flagship character of The Last of Us. So I don't see them doing that. Like they faked it out with Nathan. They faked it out with Sam. They faked it out with Elena. They faked it out with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't see it happening, and they've already done Joel.
It's true. Like it's true. Yeah.
So I don't want to fake out. Like either do it or don't. But I'm willing to bet that.
I mean, I hate fake outs, right? Like,
yeah,
I remember playing Uncharted 3 and be like, yo, that was such, like, if I may, use this derogatory, type of phrase, but that was some little dick energy, all right?
Oof.
To have Sully, like, half die, I'm like, dude, do it. Double down. Screw it. You know what I'm saying? Like just double down. 10 toes down.
Yeah.
So does Ellie die?
Well, Uncharted's also a happier series than the last.
That is a fair point. Yeah, death means a lot more, as opposed to Uncharted. A lot more.
Yeah.
You know. Does Ellie die? I guess I'll say no, but I kind of want to say yeah, dude.
It's because like I don't know.
You know what?
Isn't there
No.
gonna be an expansion? Like there's gonna be DLC. So
Oh,
if
I
Ellie
mean, I don't think they have said anything about DLC.
I don't know. They also didn't say much about DLC for part 1.
That is true until we got left behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I'll say no.
I want to say
Yeah.
no.
I'll say no. Joel, I think I'll say a different answer. Just what do you think, Orly? Question number 6. Does Joel die in The Last of Us Part 2?
This is the hardest one for me because okay, so far with like I don't know, I just when you think about it like in a storytelling aspect, like Joel dying in a memorable way would have people talking. It would stay in people's memories. It would be, if done well, it would be a very, very powerful moment in the story.
Right.
But I also think of like, you remember what Ellie in part 1 where it's like everyone I like care about has either died or left me, and
yep, except
like
you.
now, yeah, except you, and I really don't want that for her. I want my girl to be happy.
Dude, I mean, same. What a queen. But I remember, when they finished mocap shoots for Last of Us Part 2. I think it was like around September-ish or October, something like that of last year. And Neil Druckmann tweeted like, "Oh, we just finished the last mocap session, the ending of the game. It was a very moving performance, and it was a picture of Troy Baker, and wow, oh my god,
Laura Bailey."
Thank you. I had the biggest brain fart of who the hell plays Ellie. Oh my god, wow, I suck.
You're good.
I'm like Forky from Toy Story 4. Like I just say I'm trash. I am trash. I am trash. But I feel like him saying something emotional, like, dude, one of them is dying, bro, and I think it's gonna have to be Joel. Listen, I know you haven't put your answer. I'm gonna say yes. I think Joel's gonna kick the can, and I don't want to see it, but I think it's gonna happen.
It's hard to like say yes or no because we also got something like that from Chris Evans during Avengers Endgame.
It is very true. We did.
Yeah,
we all thought the Cap was gonna die.
Yeah, we all thought Cap was gone. But it's just like we got the ending that we did. I'm not going to discuss it, even though it came out almost a year ago.
True.
But people have these like, because there's only 2 ways that it can happen. It's either he lives or he dies.
Very true.
And so people fill in that mindset as like, oh, I want him to live or I want him to die, and using those words like, hey, you could be like me. It's like, hey, it's a fake out. Chris Evans did it. We're gonna be good. But it's also a lot easier to see. Moving performance with Joel and Ellie for the ending of the game. So you can also see that it's like, hey, Joel's going to die, but we can't agree on everything.
So you're gonna say no? Is that your?
I'm speaking it into existence. Keep Joel, keep my boy, please.
Keep my boy alive. Orly is saying no. Oh shit.
I'm speaking it into existence, please. I want it. Like, come on. Joel deserves it after Sarah, but that would also be good on the story aspect. Like, what? Doubling down. I'm not afraid.
I almost want to know. I won't change my answer, but I almost want to go back and be like, no, Ellie's gonna die and Joel's gonna live, and that's gonna be extremely fucked. But I digress.
That's awful. I feel like people would be actually upset.
Dude, that I feel like is what's gonna happen. Low key. Of course, we don't want it.
Yeah, but it's like, if one of them has to, I want it to be like, if one of them has to like walk out of there alive, it needs to be Ellie. Like, Joel has lost Tess. He's lost Sarah.
He can't.
He's
lose
lost.
Ellie.
Yeah, he can't. Like, he will. Like, Joel is like one more tragedy like that away from just kicking it himself.
But like, wouldn't it be so cool if you got like a Last of Us Part 3, and it's like Ellie is still there, but like it's almost like a Batman Arkham Knight type of style where like we get Ellie, but she's not really there.
Joel's too old for this shit. Like, part 3, Joel's gonna be in like a retirement community. Like, give the man a break.
He gonna be in a wheelchair, bro. He gonna have bro. It's gonna be a doozy, bro. Shout out part 3 for PS5 2024. Actually, no, that'd be like 2026, something like that. God, we're getting so old.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like that point. I'm gonna be 26 years old. Like, I don't.
It's gonna be wild, bro.
Give my boy a break. He's too old for this shit.
Question number 7. Is Anna, of course, the mystery girl from the Paris Games Week trailer from 2017, is she not Ellie's mom? There's a lot of people that say, look, it is too on the nose for that woman to be Anna. It is too on the nose. They blocked out the letters when they introduced her as a character in Last of Us Part 2 on Twitter. It just seems too much like coincidence and it just seems to fit too nicely into the puzzle that is who is Ellie's mom. You know, we know Ellie's mom's name is Anna. We know that her and Marlene were friends. They were both nurses, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? She died a day after Ellie was born, all that good stuff. Wrote Ellie a letter, etc. Is Anna, or this mystery girl from Paris Games Week, is she Anna being Ellie's mom, or is she not? So wait, sorry. So I raised a question. Is Anna not Ellie's mom? So wait, I'm getting confused. So if you
He's the mystery woman from the PGW, Ellie's mom, yes or no?
Okay, we'll just change. Yeah, fine. I'll change that. So yeah, so is
not
Anna
every puzzle
Ellie's
needs
mom?
to be confusing.
You damn. Put that on the Hallmark card. Put that on a Hallmark card.
Like, I know that, like, okay, so like, if you make a game too streamlined and you make it too easy to figure out, you get a game that's not, like, the story isn't exciting to play through. But if you make it too confusing, you get a Death Stranding situation where it's not everybody's cup of tea just based on this promotional material.
Right.
But you got to give people something to talk about, because not everybody remembers that, like, that what happened to Ellie's mom. Not everybody played that in depth to part 1 to remember that, or just like it's been 7 years almost. Like, not everybody just remembers that period.
Mm-hmm.
But you get that little tidbit, that little thing to get people talking. Like, I feel like that's interesting. I feel like that's a good detail. It raises questions about part 1 that could be explained in part 2 for the people that pick up on it, and people will pick up on it. So I want to say yes.
You want to say yes?
They went like, it was 2017. Like, this is right when like the promotional stuff started to come out. The best way to get people talking is like, hey, a lot of questions from part 1 that people might not even are going to be addressed.
Right.
Which would be very interesting to see. So I want to say yes. I'd like to see that.
I'm gonna say no. I think
I might be thinking too hard into it.
no. I mean, because I was once like, no, yes, 100% like that as Anna. It's clear as day. They both have a similar resemblance. Like, they look similar. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, but it just seems like now when I think about it, it seems a little bit too on the nose for me to be like, yeah, definitely that's Anna. You know, I feel like there has to be more to that wrinkle and those characters. You know, there has to be more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no, but it just makes for interesting bets. So it's all good, bro. It's all good. That's all good. All right, next one here. This one. Oh wait, actually, damn. I guess we can't even answer number 8 until. Huh. I didn't even think about that. Well, shit. Still want to do it?
Sure.
All right. I don't know how we'll. It's gonna be interesting when we get to the results of these bets, and it's a tie, and the only one that's gonna break it is the 8th question.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting, but we'll just keep it on deck, right? So we'll just keep it rolling. Hypothetically speaking, if the standalone multiplayer experience that Naughty Dog officially came out after it was revealed that factions would not be in Last of Us Part 2 and the major uproar that it caused in the community, and they came out later that day and said, yo, we are making a standalone like online experience that involves Last of Us, but that's at a later time, all that good stuff. So does the hypothetical, I'm just calling it faction standalone, it might be something else, but I'm going to call it that. So the hypothetical faction standalone mode, is it out in fall 2020 in time for PS5 or at a later date? And we'll constitute fall as being like September through December. Right?
Like,
sound fair?
Yeah, like I do think it might be in the fall because it's a good gap away from the Part 2's release in late May, but I don't think it'll be for like, I don't know, it's difficult to like, I don't think so, because the PS5 is like, it's like making Last of Us on PS3 and then saying, hey, we're gonna release the multiplayer on its own for PS4. Is like, great, now I have to buy a whole new console to play it.
Well, I mean, I just see it as like, it will be playable on PS4.
Yeah, but in time for it,
I mean, I could see it being like a nice, like, hey, like, you have your brand new PS5, you get to experience the standalone factions multiplayer on there as well, get the hype off that, maybe like, maybe there's some extra like oomph to the standalone mode because it's on PS5. I'm just spitballing ideas, but I just feel like it's gonna be a neat. I think it'd be smart to put something like a new Naughty Dog content day one on a brand new PS5.
Like
that isn't part 2, but
I don't know. Like, if anything, like I would prefer a kind of like a deal they did with Remastered on PS4, PS3. It's like, hey, here's part 1 again. It's remastered and all that for the console that just came out, because it came out like Remastered came out, I think maybe a few months after the PS4 just released, period. So it's like, here's part 2 again if you didn't have a PS4 and you want to play it on the PS5, and Factions comes with it. Like PS4 separate, PS5 together, same bundle.
Well, wait, so you don't think it'll come out in fall 2020?
I do believe it'll come out on fall 2020, but the PS5 comes out in holiday.
Oh, we're gonna be like this now. Oh, we're gonna really split hairs, huh? All right.
Well,
so
holiday is different than fall. That's in like winter.
You're not wrong. I just didn't think about that. Okay, so let me sit up in my chair right quick and let's get to business, right? So you're saying that. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying yes, but specifically within the confines of fall 2020.
Yes.
Right. I want to say yes, but I think it'll be launch day PS5.
Because right now, The Last of Us Part 2, like Naughty Dog, not like every single person, like every developer is working like just Last of Us Part 2, because most of the legwork is done. Right now they're working on optimization. Right now, making sure everything flows smoothly and that there is minimal as possible. Like, that's just optimization at this point.
Right.
So you have the major development team working on the multiplayer, working on making sure that Factions or whatever it's called works well, because you have the skeleton of that in just part 2's mechanics. Because what Factions did in part 1 is that it just took everything that you could do in single player, added a different skin to it, added different characters and a different objective, and made it into a multiplayer mode. So it's not like it is a difference. It is a big jump, because you do have to downgrade it a little, because you can't do all the flashy things that you could do in single player, like all the flashy reloads and all that. Like, you can't do all that to the extent of my memory or to the extent of my knowledge. But I do think that it is within the realm of possibility to do something like Red Dead 2 did. Because it doesn't have to come out day one, but it can come out like a month or 2 months or 3 months after. Because 3 months after release, it's only August.
I don't think we'll get it. I don't.
I want it, but
No, I mean, of course I want it.
yeah,
Of course I want
I'm all my bets are just how badly can I justify my want for this thing?
So, all right. So you took a nice stroke with it in terms of you're gonna cover the full fall. I think specifically it'll come out for PS5. Like, okay, so I'm saying launch PS5, and if you allow me to, no, I can't be. I was gonna say launch PS5 and after PS5. Can I say that or no?
That's a big range compared to my few months.
You know what? You're right. Okay, you know what? You're right. Okay, you know what? You're right. Wait, can I say launch PS5 up until the end of the year?
Okay, how about like from release day to when winter begins, I win. Anything after that, you win.
Wait until winter. You want like January 2021?
Well, just for the specific question, like if I just flat out lose bets, like overall, like you'll get whatever game you want, like agreed to it, like that's fine. But just on this specific question, like I should have phrased that. But
Here's what
whoever gets it within those realms of time, like within that time frame, just gets the question correct.
Here's what I want to say. I'm gonna give us the same end date, which is the end of the year.
Okay.
The December 31st, 2020, because in December it could be a stealth drop at Game Awards.
Yeah.
And then I guess we both win. I don't know. I guess a half point awarded. I don't know. But you just have a bigger window because you got September, October, and I believe the PS5 is launching in November. There's rumors that it could be late October, but you have a few months ahead. So I suppose that's fair. That's fair. All right. Question number 9. Ellie can swim.
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes too, because
she's the protagonist. You
dude,
gotta.
I would love for the intro to just be like her just swimming. God, that'd be so fucking fun. All right.
That's two questions right. Prologue. It doesn't even need flash. You just show her in a kid pool. That's all I need for 2 points right there.
Damn, my man's out here doing this. All right. Question number 10. There was a scene in the release date trailer where they showed a man, tied to a chair, being tortured. Do you recall that scene? It looks like it's in the bathroom. If you want,
I do recall it, but it has been. I haven't watched it since it came released.
Okay. If you want, I can link you real quick, or
I can look it up real quick.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm talking about that character. A lot of people say that it is Tommy in this chair. A lot of people, think it's someone else or whoever else. I'm gonna say yes. I think it's Tommy. I think there's something to that, and I think Tommy's connected to it in some shape, form, or fashion. Of course, Tommy being Joel's brother. Of course.
Yeah.
He owns the dam. I don't know if he owns it, but he resides in the dam. That's Tommy's dam, and it's where Tommy's settlement also takes place, where we saw Ellie and Dina share a kiss and stuff like that, and the whole dance thing, whatever, they go on patrols, that whole aspect of that. So, do you have a
I just watched it, like I skimmed through it, like because I do remember like the skeleton of like how it was structured.
Mm-hmm.
Like I agree with you. Like they wouldn't show something like that if it wasn't meant to be, like, because I don't know, it feels kind of needless to show faceless character or a minor character in such like a violent state unless it's for like a playable, like a play demo or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they're just guys, but this is a CG animated thing. They put time and thought into this.
Right.
Like this is an in-engine. This is animated. So they had to put time. They had to make it like, okay, what can we do narratively to make this significant enough to tie our release date and our story trailer? So you have, like, I would have chose, like something like that, like Tommy, like something significant, something that gets the player invested, because Tommy was in the prologue of part 1 and players got attached to him because it's like, oh, Tommy's dead. It's like, just kidding. No, he's not. He's at the Firefly camp or wherever it was. Or at the dam. They weren't fireflies. They were just at the camp. So it's like you gotta make people invested. That's why that's the same justification like Anna, because you got to keep people invested some way somehow by giving them little things that they are familiar to, or else you get a Death Stranding situation.
Right.
So that's my line of logic. We'll see if it pans out, but we'll see how it goes.
I see. So you're saying no?
I'm saying that
yes?
is Tommy. That is Tommy.
So you are indeed saying yes. All right. There you go. Those are the bets. Of course, this document will be saved, and I'll return to it if we need to.
Right. We all have the evidence here to see who wins.
So it looks like everything can be answered on June 5th, except for the factions thing.
Yeah.
If we end up tying this thing, and that's the breaker, and it runs all the way to the end of the year, that's gonna be hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so funny. But
at that point, are there gonna be any games?
Is there gonna be any what?
Are there gonna be any games to buy at that point? Because like Cyberpunk's gonna be out, like Final Fantasy's out, like everything's out at that point.
Avengers, the new console's out.
Y'all hear something on Avengers? Like y'all hear something? Because I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you're not gonna get Avengers?
Not for a second.
Oh, come on, man! You won't be day one. Oh, you hate to see this.
Not even for a second.
What if you missed that Hell's Kitchen Daredevil DLC, bro? What then?
Yeah, well then I bought an Xbox One just for Dead Rising 3. I'll buy Avengers just for my boy. I'm willing to do.
Oh my gosh, man!
But like, if I don't see Daredevil or Spider-Man or Moon Knight, I don't see somebody cool in there. It's gonna be I sleep. It's a hard I sleep.
Passed out, bro.
Yeah. They killed Deus Ex for this game. I'm sad about it.
Yeah, you're right. Deus Ex did have to die for this game.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, they get no sympathy.
Oh, man. They get no sympathy. You know what? For that, if I win, you're buying me that game.
Fine. Okay. Yeah, fine. I'll do it.
This has been episode 27 of Road to Part 2. Of course, I would love for everyone listening to this to do the bets along with us as well. So links, not yet. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about these questions, and give me your answers down below in the comment section. But before we do our outro, I do have a little thing to bring up.
The Chelsea.
I almost forgot about that Chelsea watch. Chelsea. Okay, it was given to my attention that Chelsea indeed does have a man.
Boof.
Which I was not aware of. Right. So of course, me. I don't want to be a home wrecker. May I? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mess up the feng shui, disturb the peace, if you will. So, purely from here on out, my intentions are to be business friendly. You know what I'm saying? Business in terms of I do still want to get her on this podcast, But of course it'll be cordial. It'll be
platonic.
Absolutely platonic. Absolutely. I mean, perhaps, the furthest extent could be a friendly discussion, as opposed to just like an interview,
Yeah.
But that will be where the aspect of that stops. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to fully suspend any sort of romantic statements I've said about this woman, because she indeed has a man. So that is all. Do you have? I mean, Orly, like if you have anything to add,
It's all just friendly banter.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's kind of like Daisy Ridley. I'm happily in a relationship. I'm very happy with who I'm with. However, Daisy Ridley, like if you would like to go for a completely platonic, like outing, I am here. No, but it's kind of like that. Like there's no like malintent. There's no
absolutely.
There's no intentions on anything like aggressive or weird or stuff like that. But it's just like
we're just a couple of good boys over here on this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Good dudes.
Couple of what I used to say at work. Couple of guys being dudes. Couple of dudes being guys. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah.
Just
no nice guys here. Only good dudes.
just a couple of young dudes, absolutely. So with that being said, how can the people know about young dude Mr. Arknight? Where can people find you?
People can find me on the Discord, on the PlayStation Source Discord. I'm on there. We talk video games, we talk movies, we talk about my disdain for the Avengers game because it killed Deus Ex. You can talk about whatever topics you want there. You can find me there under the same name, the Arachnite, Arknight, whatever. People say it different ways. You can find me on Twitter, Orly_Macias, ORLY_CIS. About comic books. I talk about Daredevil, as we mentioned earlier, and Spider-Man and stuff like that there. I've just been playing the Division 2 was $3 on Uplay, so that was a quick cop.
Bro, I've been so addicted to Division 2.
Yeah.
Bro. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really
so
bad.
that was a quick cop. I bought that real so I'm gonna probably be talking about that on the server and on my Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. That's where you can find me. That's where I complain about the MCU Spider-Man.
where you reside. Of course, his links will be down below in the description, as well as our links where you can follow us on Twitter and our Discord server, like what the Arachnite mentioned before. You follow us on there, as well as, of course, our Anchor link. If you are listening on YouTube and would like to listen to this in a podcast format, you can go down to the description and find our Anchor link where you can get different link outs to Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. You can find this on there, as well as if you just want to search PlayStation Source podcast feed on your favorite podcast source, you should be able to find us pretty easily from that avenue. So thank you all for watching. Of course, leave a like on the video, rate the podcast, and stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you for watching, and as always,
greatness awaits.